Hi, Simon here, AV Candy. I am just finishing commissioning off a ESS system in a cellar in quite a small property in Kenilworth. I thought I'd quickly do a little video on this because we've had to do things slightly differently, mainly because of the space constraints. So I'll give you a quick twirl round in a second, but you can probably see in the background the sort of bubble wrap stuff on the ceiling. That's the waterproofing membranes for the cellar. So that's all been done before we got here. There's already two fridges down here, which you can see here. And then the plan was to put the energy storage system down here. The fuse box is about 17 meters away. So we have twin 10mm squared 3-core steel wide armour. That's to and from the inverter. 16mm earth. And then a few data cables. Cat6A, couple of RS485, one going to the meter, and a couple of others actually for CO2 monitoring and temperature monitoring, just to make sure we don't cook anything. But I'll quickly go through this gig and let's see where we're at. So, as you can see, I'm actually on my hands and knees in here because there isn't enough room really to stand up. But this is where we're at. So we have here the main fuse box in and out of the inverter. So we have the isolator to a 2-pole on the input to the inverter, and then on the output of the inverter for essential circuits we're running main switch, 100 milliamp time delayed RCD, and a 40 amp MCB. That feeds a second fuse box next to the main fuse box in the house, and that then feeds about 4 essential circuits, primarily electronics for to keep the Wi-Fi up and running, 3 fridges, 1 bit of the kitchen with another fridge. So, things that you'd expect really. We got the Serbo GX here, which is our Victron comms unit. We've got a few cables in here. We've got a temperature sensor, which I've just stashed here for a few minutes, just to monitor the temperature in the cellar. We then also have an alarm input to a CO2 sensor, and there's going to be another alarm input to the sump in the cellar. Obviously, we don't want to get any of this wet, so we're putting an alarm in. So if the sump fails, the system will go into alarm mode and alert the customer that something's gone wrong with the pumps. So we got Victron Multiplus 2 5 kilowatt. As you can see, it's sort of squished between a fridge and the wall, mounted on a fireproof board. We have a 200 amp incoming fuse to the Multiplus, and it's fed with HO7 70mm, sorry, squared cable. And then the inverter mains voltages are through 10mm squared, again HO7 cable. You will notice in this job it's not in trunking or anything, and that's simply because there physically isn't the room for trunking on here. The bend radius is with the inverter and things, you just couldn't get it in. So it's all open, which is partly why we've used HO7, because it's mechanically very well protected. Plans on everything, as you can see. Got the BYD controller here for the battery box. Hang on, a bit further out, there you go. Got a little network switch. Cat6A coming in. It's currently just feeding the servo. A little DIN rail. I'm going to probably put a USB hub on there at some point. This little box here is our humidity, CO2 and temperature sensor. It's not quite powered up yet, but nearly. And then finally we have our earth bar down the bottom, which brings all the earths from the ESS system together and then goes out to the main earthing point, the MET, up by the fuse box. And then in this property, because we've got critical load, so we can island the property, We've also got a couple of earth rods out the back, which again is 16mm cable from the back of the property through to the fuse box. This one runs a 15.4 kilowatt BYD premium battery, as you can see, if I can get the angle right. There you go. So it's about 180 kilos, so it's quite a challenge getting it down into the cellar, but it's actually relatively compact. So whilst it's heavy, it's actually quite small and can fit under the shelving here. So that's a little bit of an overview of this job. So it's been running a little while now. We've optimised the economy 7 timing, so this system has no solar. It's a conservation area, so there's no solar here at all. It just runs on economy 7 at night. And one of the things I guess we messed up a bit, really. We didn't really realise how inaccurate the economy 7 meters were. And actually this property is in an area which is supposed to have economy 7 timings of, I can't remember, but it isn't the right timings. So it's about 45 minutes out. So we had to come back a couple of times just to tweak it, make sure it was all right. But now we've got all that settled. This property runs 98% now on economy 7. The other 2% is really the system balancing with the grid. You can see here, I'm not sure if you're able to see that very well, but at the moment we've got pretty much 0, 10 watts, 2 watts coming from the grid. We've got 270 watts going to our AC loads and 81 watts going to the critical loads. Battery's currently at 88%, and all is good. Probably worth pointing out, actually, this property runs air source heat pumps, 2 of them. And this system supplies all the power during the day to the heating and cooling system. Hot water is supplied by phase change box, which is a thermal store, and that's charged again with economy 7. So this house has 15.4 kilowatts of electrical storage and 15 kilowatt hours of electrical storage and 9 kilowatt hours of heat store. There's an additional 3 kilowatt hour heat store going in a little outbuilding where there'll be a second shower. So that's it. Nice little job, although slightly bad for the back. Anyway, speak to you later.